Picture this. You're in a meeting. Someone speaks up, loud, zero hesitation, and says something completely wrong. Everyone nods. The one person who actually knew the answer, they stayed quiet, second-guessing themselves. That moment has a name, a scientific explanation, and it happens everywhere, every day. I'm Willow, and today we're cracking open one of the most dangerous glitches in the human brain, the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Not the meme. The real biological blind spot so perfectly built that you cannot see it from the inside. By the end of this, you'll understand why the least qualified voices are often the loudest, why genuine experts doubt themselves, and how to escape the trap before it costs you something real. Check out this roadmap. It's the Dunning-Kruger curve. Most of us start at Mount Stupid, where confidence is sky high but knowledge is low. But as the real complexity sets in, we crash into the valley of despair. That's where the crushing self-doubt lives. If you keep pushing, you'll hit the slope of enlightenment and finally the plateau of sustainability as a true expert. Today, we're deconstructing this journey and why your doubt is actually a sign of growth. Let's get into it. Starting at number 8, the experiment that started everything. 1999, Cornell University. Psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger tested students on logic, grammar, and reasoning, then asked each one to estimate their performance compared to everyone else. The results were almost unbelievable. Students in the bottom 12% ranked themselves in the top 60%. Not arrogance, genuine belief. The students who actually aced the tests? They thought they'd done slightly below average. Best performers, most uncertain. Worst performers, completely sure. Dunning and Kruger called it the dual burden. When you lack a skill, you also lack the ability to recognize that you lack it. A broken ruler that can't measure its own damage. Replicated across subjects, cultures, and countries. Same result every time. This is not a personality flaw. This is how human cognition operates, including yours and mine. Number 7. The mountain with a cliff. Imagine a mountain. That mountain is confidence. The path up represents actual knowledge. Here's how most people climb it. Day 1 of learning anything new. Your brain doesn't know what questions to ask, so it fills the gap with certainty. Confidence rockets upward. Researchers named this peak, the peak of Mount Stupid. Keep going, and the complexity becomes visible. The contradictions, everything you missed. Confidence crashes. You hit the valley of despair, where most people quietly give up, assuming they're just not built for this. Push through, and you climb back slowly with genuine understanding to the plateau of sustainability, where confidence and competence finally align. Every skill you've tried to learn put you on this mountain. The question is, do you know exactly where you're standing right now? Number 6. It's not psychology, it's biology. The Dunning-Kruger effect has a physical address, your prefrontal cortex. This region handles self-monitoring and metacognition, your brain watching itself think. But it needs prior knowledge to function accurately. Without it, you're running a quality check using incomplete software. Imagine proofreading a document in a language you've never seen. You'd find nothing wrong and hand it back confident, because the errors are invisible to you. That's exactly what your brain does in any domain where your knowledge is thin. The biological twist. The same neural region that performs a skill also evaluates how well it was performed. Underdeveloped skill means underdeveloped evaluation. The same broken instrument does both jobs. This is hardware, not character. The first step to escaping it isn't willpower, it's awareness. Coming in at number 5, the expert paradox. Here's where everything flips. The original paper revealed a second effect almost nobody discusses. The most skilled people in any field are systematically underconfident. Why? Because knowledge that feels obvious now was once foreign. You've forgotten what not knowing felt like. Psychologists call this the curse of knowledge, Dunning-Kruger's shadow twin. The best surgeon second guesses before complex cases. The Grandmaster reviews every loss for hours. The most decorated scientists call their work just asking questions. Meanwhile, someone with 4 YouTube videos is ready to teach a seminar. Real expertise sounds uncertain. Performed expertise sounds certain. In interviews and first impressions, the overconfident amateur often beats the cautious expert, not because they're more capable, but because they sound it. Number 4. The social media amplifier. The Dunning-Kruger Effect doesn't stay in individual brains. In the age of algorithmic feeds, it breeds at scale. Platforms reward confidence, not accuracy. A 4-word aggressive take gets 50,000 shares. A nuanced analysis gets 12 likes from colleagues. The algorithm reads engagement as signal, and overconfident content generates the most. Anger, agreement, outrage, least accurate voices, widest reach. Researchers call this epistemic pollution. High confidence, low accuracy content floods the information environment. Your brain uses social proof as a truth shortcut. If everyone agrees, it must be right. Except, everyone is a bubble optimized for engagement, not reality. The antidote? Seek friction. Find people who know more than you. That discomfort is your metacognition actually working. Number 3. The shadow twin, imposter syndrome. Dunning-Kruger has a mirror image, and it's equally destructive. Imposter syndrome is when genuinely competent people feel like frauds, like they snuck in. Studies suggest 70% of people experience this at some point. Surgeons, NASA engineers, CEOs, writers. Here's the connection nobody talks about. The same metacognitive awareness that prevents Dunning-Kruger produces imposter syndrome. The more you truly know, the more clearly you see what you don't know. Real skill and relentless self-doubt often share the exact same brain. The brutal irony? Least qualified, most certain. Most qualified, most unsure. Clover tribe. If you've ever felt like the only one in the room who doesn't fully get it, there's a real chance you're the sharpest person there. Number 2. Why evidence alone doesn't fix it. The Dunning-Kruger effect actively resists correction. And that resistance is architectural. When an overconfident person receives feedback, their brain processes it one of 3 ways. The critic is wrong. The critic is biased. The critic just doesn't understand the vision. What it almost never does without real emotional maturity, conclude that maybe it was wrong. Psychologists call this belief perseverance. The brain protects its beliefs. Confirmation bias wraps around the blind spot like armor. Overconfidence creates the bias. The bias preserves the overconfidence. Perfect, self-sealing loop. The more publicly a belief is stated, the harder the ego defends it. Wrong in private is uncomfortable. Wrong in public feels like identity collapse. What breaks the loop? Research shows one reliable interrupt. Rapport before evidence. You cannot teach a threatened brain. A safe brain can learn almost anything. And finally, number 1, the escape protocol. 4 research-backed practices, actually implementable today. 1. Calibrate against external reality. Stop measuring skill by how it feels. Test against real benchmarks. Seek feedback from people who owe you nothing. Feelings of competence are not data. Results are. 2. Build a red team. Find people whose job is to find holes in your thinking, not to be cruel, but honest. If your entire circle agrees with everything you say, you don't have supporters. You have an echo chamber. 3. Make intellectual humility a daily habit. Each day, find one belief that turned out wrong or more complex than assumed. Celebrate the correction. Your beliefs are working hypotheses, not your identity. 4. Delay confidence deliberately. In new domains, slow your certainty formation. Stay in still learning mode longer than feels comfortable. Every extra day, there gives your metacognition real material to work with. Here's the synthesis. The Dunning-Kruger effect was never about stupid people. It's about a brain built for survival, not accuracy. One that fills knowledge gaps with confidence because hesitation once got your ancestors killed. In 10,000 BCE, that was a feature. We don't live there anymore. Decision quality now depends on self-assessment accuracy. The gap between what you know and what you think you know has real consequences in careers, relationships, finances, health. The people who close that gap aren't the most gifted. They're the ones who built one habit, asking regularly, is this actually true, or does it just feel true? That question is one of the most powerful things a human brain can generate. You now know exactly why it's rare. Drop a comment. What's one belief you've held with more confidence than it deserves? If this rewired something, hit subscribe. Next week we go even deeper. I'm Willow, and until next time, the smartest thing you can do today is find out what you were wrong about yesterday and mind yourself. I'll see you in the next one.